now for my special treacle toffee. Now honestly, this is always in demand in my house. Super simple to make. So we're going to add 300 grams of butter, just room temperature butter, to the pan. And to do this you need kind of a wide base and kind of heavy bottom pan. Nothing where it's going to easily splash up. And then to that I'm going to add 425 grams of dark muscovado sugar. This is amazing, it's got so much flavour and molasses in it. So we're going to add that to the pan. And then to that we're going to add 200 grams of dark molasses treacle. This is amazing, I could eat this off a spoon right now. So we're going to add that straight in to the pan. Honestly, if I wasn't being filmed, I would lick the tub. Get the last bits of treacle out. And then the last ingredient is condensed milk. So it's just 1 can, it's 397 grams of condensed milk. Straight in. So we're going to let all these ingredients melt together, and at this point you don't really want to stir it too much. If you stir it too much at this point you're going to end up with a really grainy treacle toffee, which isn't what we want. So at this point we're just going to let it start to melt down, stir it once or twice, and that's it. So we've just now, this treacle mixture has now just melted down. So now we can start stirring it. In fact, you want to keep stirring it at this point because otherwise it's going to burn at the bottom of the pan, and that's definitely what we want, not what we want. So really what you need is one of these, which is a sugar thermometer. So we're going to pop this into our pan, and what we need to do is get this treacle mixture to 130 degrees. If we don't reach 130 degrees, then it won't have the bite that you need. It'll just become a runny mixture once it's set. You won't be able to get it to set to a treacle toffee type consistency. So what I'm going to do now is going to turn the heat up, and I'm just going to keep stirring it. So we've got quite a way to go because we're only at 70 degrees and we've got to get to 130. So if you look now, this is bubbling vigorously, this treacle toffee. And we're currently at just over 100 degrees, so 30 degrees more to do. You've also got to be careful when you are making this because it does splash up, so be careful that you don't get burnt. So we're currently at 120 degrees now, so we have 10 degrees to go until our treacle toffee is ready. What you do notice as it's getting higher and higher in temperature that the mixture starts to become quite thick, almost like a batter-like. I kind of describe it, almost looks like a little bit like cinder toffee where you can see the air bubbles throughout. So that tells me that it's nearly ready. That and my sugar thermometer, which tells me I've got 8 centigrades to go. At this point as well, it's important that you continue stirring all the time because it will burn and stick to the bottom. It's incredibly hot at this point. We're almost there, just a couple of degrees to go now, and then we'll be ready to pour. 1 degree to go. About 20 minutes to get to this point. It's the grand finale. Okay, so we've reached 130 degrees, finally. What I've got here is just a baking tray, and I've just lined it with baking parchment. Just going to give it a quick stir, and then we're going to take our treacle mixture and pour it onto the baking parchment. The last bits out. There we go. Shake it around a little. Spread it into the corners. Okay. So that's going to sit now at room temperature for around 10 minutes, and then we're going to pop it in the fridge for a couple of hours and it'll be ready to go. The treacle cooled for 10 minutes just on the tray in the kitchen, and then I popped it in the fridge for a couple of hours and it becomes rock solid. And then what I've done is I just put it in an airtight Ziploc bag and I just bashed it with a rolling pin, and it's now broken up and ready to eat. How delicious is that?